What is up, guys? Welcome back to the second installment of my Devlog series for my new game called Swift. And so, last episode I recapped what I had finished for my game so far. And in this episode I'm going to work on the first level. Right, and to do that I'm going to use something called a tile map. And so what that is, well, before I can talk about that, so what a tile map is, it is, first of all, you have this code, which will basically take a text file and it'll put it into a list. Alright, and I define that list as self.data. Right, and then in the main file over here, you can see here, this line of code will take that data, right, from that text file, right, and then wherever it sees a specific number or letter, right, it'll spawn an instance of whatever sprite class that corresponds to that number or letter. Right, so take for example the player. I made the player 0, right, and so in this text file, you can see here, if I want to spawn a player, I'll just put the number 0, right, and then this code will run through that, right, and then wherever it sees a 0, it'll spawn a player there. So if I run this code, you can see now it'll spawn a player wherever I define it to be. Right, and so as another example, right, let's just say I want to put a floor somewhere, right, and the floor is going to be 2. So I'm going to go to my text file, right, and then somewhere random here, somewhere down here, I'll put a 2, right, and if I run it, you can see it'll spawn a floor somewhere at 2, right, and so with that being said, that is how the tile system works. Right, and you can see here I have a lot of tiles. I went from I used all the numbers and I proceeded to use all of the letters in lowercase, and then you can see here the next up is going to be all the letters in uppercase. Right, so each new sprite you want to add, right, for example, like the new obstacle I added, or like whatever, something new you want to add, you have to designate a specific number or letter or even character if you're using the tile map system. Right, so I'm going to spend the next couple of hours working on the first level for my game. Okay, so I just finished coding the first level to my game, as you can see right here. And so if you run it, you can see here, and I think this is more dynamic, like this compared to the tutorial, right? Because of this new obstacle I created, right? And it's really nice to see this obstacle like implemented, right? Because before you saw in my previous video where I had it coded the obstacle, but I hadn't actually implemented it into my game with like the lasers and these spikes and stuff. And it's really nice to see it implemented like this, right? And so as you can see, it adds a really nice challenge to the whole entire thing. Right, so the player actually has to think, right? They have to actually time it perfectly, or not perfectly, but like time it to where this little block is up, so that the player can pass through, right? And also another design choice I made was to have this laser here before the this obstacle, so that the player can't just hold it like this and then start moving the player, right? They actually have to move this laser first. So by the time they hover over the laser, they have to time it perfectly to they have to time this block perfectly to make it stop like that, right? So like that, it stops. Clear that, clear that, clear that. Oops. Right, so it's just like really nice addition, I think this obstacle is. Oops. Right, and so it's really fun. I think it is. Right? And so if I can beat it again. Really amazing. Oh, nice. Alright, so I think that's pretty much it for this episode. And in the next episode, I'm probably going to do something with the sign, and also like optimizing tile sets. Right? I think I had this idea to like optimize it so you won't have to like, for every time you have to put the sign, you have to like, how do I explain this? Like every single sign you have to put, like level 1, level 2, level 3, you have to create a new tile for, right? And I want to figure out a way to make it to where you don't have to use like a number or letter for each sign. You can just use one, right? And you can maybe use like Boolean variables to control whether, or like to kind of monitor which actual level you're on, right? But more on that in the next episode, right? And I might work on this also off camera. And so yeah, well, that was all for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.